So we're going to talk about how Disney is paring back its investments in all the Star Wars and Marvel content in addition to all the other content that they're doing. So did you read about this?
I did not read about this. I heard Netflix and others are also paring back how much they're spending on content, because what these companies are doing is they're using all of this content for marketing, in which the more hits and releases you create, the more subscriptions you get. It's just like you would do product marketing. The better your product, the more customers you'll get, and naturally you'll get more virality for your core business. But the key is, how do you stop producing tons of things and you just only produce hits? Because then you save a lot more money.
Dude, I don't know if you saw this. There's these graphs, right? And it showed opening week in summertime. So it showed Barbie is one of the top 5 actually. And the Avengers Endgame, so the second version of the Infinity War, I think it did 500 billion or something like that. And then the first one of that, kind of to your point, did 400 billion. So it's the top best of the best content leading to the next one. It's like almost like a really good webinar. And then people look forward to the next webinar, and then people end up building all this pent up demand. And that's why Avengers Endgame is the highest grossing, I think, opening weekend of all time.
Yeah, it's crazy. And with some of these opening box office, like with movies like Barbie did really well.
Barbie, I think, did 300 or 350, something like that.
Yeah, but what a lot of companies forget about is you can actually generate more revenue in the opening if you spend a ton more on marketing. Doesn't necessarily correlate 1-to-1, because if the movie's not that great, you're not going to do well either way. But you also have to look at how profitable it is as well, right?
Yep.
The opening numbers don't tell you the full picture.
Correct. Yeah. And I don't know if we'll ever see the full picture here, but I think the other thing too is, if Bob Iger, so he's the CEO of Disney, he's pulling back on all the Star Wars and what else? Marvel content. The thing is, you just mentioned the best content again, right? There's been too much of this content in the last couple of years.
Dude, have you noticed on Disney Plus there's always a new Star Wars series? I stopped watching most of them.
I stopped watching The Mandalorian mid-season last season. They're just like adding content to add content. It's not interesting anymore.
Totally agree. And I think that's what people get wrong in marketing, in which they believe, oh, if you just keep pushing and pushing, you'll do better. Same with Google ads. You can't always spend more and expect more. There's a point where if you spend more on Google or Facebook ads, you'll get the same results, and you just would have burned more money, which decreases your ROI.
It just goes back to the bigger, broader macro picture now, that everything is about efficiency. It's about no longer all about growth. It's about efficiently scaling, and that means paring back on costs. And this goes back to, why did Shopify cut people? Why did X? Why did X cut 80% of its people? And why did Mark Zuckerberg cut so many people? It's because it all comes back to efficiency. So anything else?
Totally agree. No, that's it. With your marketing, look at your ROI, look at efficiency, and don't overproduce. If you just overproduce on your marketing, and when we say overproduce, just spending too much and going overboard, a lot of times there's crazy diminishing returns. It's just not worth it.
Yep. All right, that is it for today. Please don't forget to rate, read, subscribe, 5 stars on YouTube as well. And we will see you tomorrow.